Hello everyone, we are here, we are back with some more Nier. We are in the Village of Dreams. This should be an interesting place. They have quests. This is another person infected by the death dream. It would appear that way, yes. Shit. Gods, please don't tell me we have to go back in there. I'm no good at this mind game crap. I'd rather hit something in the face and be done with it. Perhaps you should spend less time complaining and more time getting on with the mission. Yeah. I breathe air scented with death and resist the urge to laugh, for I know it will sound like the words of a madman. How long have I been in this fresh hell? My box, my prison, is tucked under a stairway in the long, unused catacombs of some infinite castle. Outside I hear the sounds of a funeral dirge that seems without end. Light has no place here. Wind is a forgotten friend. I pray for death to come, but he forsakes me. Time passes, and eternity slips by in the single tick of a clock. Someone knocks on my prison. Hey, anyone there? I hear an unfamiliar voice say. My savior! I claw at the door of my jail, embedding thick splinters under my ragged nails. I scream for help. I laugh. I sob. Surely this is the product of my addled mind. Surely it cannot be true. Help me, I cry. For the love of all the gods, help me! Impossibly, I hear the sound of a lock being torn out and falling to the floor. As the door slowly creaks open, I have just enough time to see a silver-haired man in a floating book before the light pours inside. My eyes, accustomed to the blackness, explode with pain, and I am forced to turn away. Who are you, I ask? Shaking hands covered my face. How have you come to this place? I am Gimba Weiss. This is Sasare. Long have we been searching for you. Now come, stand. We shall awaken from this nightmare together. The one known as Sasare extends his massive hand and pulls me from the cell. Though my eyes are slow to adjust to the freedom, my ears are as keen as ever, and they recognize the staccato sounds of heavy rain. I never thought to hear the rain again, I whisper. Would that this was not such a terrible storm, said Quimbar Weiss. Look at your feet. I force my eyes open to see water pooling around my feet and lapping at my shins. There's so much of it. Yes, and more comes with each moment we delay. If we do not make our escape, we shall all drown in this castle. We know that you are weak, but you are our only hope to survive this place. Time, that long-forgotten friend, made itself known again. I nodded my head and swore to save my rescuers, no matter what. The castle catacombs are a maze, twisting upon themselves like the endless entrails of a giant. I squint down the dim corridors and proceed north. At the end of the corridor, I find a row of 20 gorgeous canopy beds resting atop a carpet of velvet. All are covered in a thick layer of dust and cobwebs. Searching for the door in the next room, I come upon a shapeless mass of gray matter. It has been shoved against the side of the wall despite my fever. I think I see the outlines of a door just beyond. When I reach out a finger and touch a piece of the mass, it turns to dust and drifts away on the wind. Realization slowly dawns and I fall to my knees and weep. Corpses. I face a mountain of charred and crumbling corpses. I look from it to the beds and back again until the horror dawns full upon me. Someone has piled these bodies onto a tower and set them ablaze. Whether they were alive or dead, I do not know. Insanity will not permit me to consider the proposition further. I make a sound, whether scream or laughter, I cannot be certain. When my mind grants me merciful blackness, and I find myself opening the door and leaving that most terrible of rooms. I squint down the dim corridors and proceed east or south. What do you guys think? What do you think, guys? Now you're silent. Left is right, so west. I squint down the dim corridors and head north. At the end of the path, a row of heavy wooden casks lie on their side. In a dark chamber, doubtless they are filled with wine. My thirst roars to life. I cannot remember the last time my parched throat had relief. I scramble to the first cask and pull frantically at the cork. The theft of a few cups means nothing, I tell myself. The casks will be ruined by the flood regardless. Finally, the cork surrenders to my attack, and thick red liquid bursts forth from the hole. But this is no wine, it is blood! It's still warm from the body! Whether animal or something else, I cannot say. The foul liquid soon mixes with the rising floodwaters, creating a warmth that laps at my thighs. By all the gods, are the rest of these casks filled with blood as well? I lack the courage to confirm my suspicion. Disgust quickly becomes fear as I turn to flee. But my weakened legs betray me, sending me toppling over into the red ocean below. The smell of death is everywhere. It threatens to consume me. I must escape this hell. Crawling all fours like an animal, holding back screams, lest any foulness enter my mouth, I lurch forward through the red waters and out of the room to freedom. Proceed east. At the end of the path, the waters rise to my waist, exhausting me both physically and spiritually. I pray that this is the way out. Eventually, I can stand the sight of the waters no longer, and so turn my eyes upward. Imagine my surprise when I see a series of paintings hanging on the faded plaster wall. Each depicts a person in the prime of life, clad in clothing of the highest quality. The styles, however, are strange to me, leading me to believe that these people had lived long, long ago. One subject was enough that particularly catches my eye. It is constructed of a thin, breezy cloth and decorated with a motif of flowers and birds, while encircling the figure's waist is a leather belt of the most perfect construction. It is a stunning costume, even by modern standards. As I gaze at the portrait, I am struck by a desire to touch it with my own hands. Yet, as I extend a single finger to the painting, I am gripped by a most unpleasant feeling. Staring closely at the image, I see it bend and warp into the shape of another finger. Something behind the picture is pointing at me. Is it another prisoner? A fellow inmate trapped for eternity in this place? I cannot let it pass, and so I seize the portrait with both hands and throw it into the water. The wall is hollow behind the painting, and inside I can just make out a body. Whether or not this is a prisoner, there would be no rescue. The poor soul is long dead. Scraps of clothing lie on the floor around the bones. Only a small amount of the fabric has survived, but it features the same delicate designs that were depicted in the portrait. I've been admiring a row of corpses, blocked from view by portraits of each victim at their pinnacle. Enough! Shielding my eyes, I paddle forward through the water. I proceed south. The water is in my chin and now laps greedily at my mouth and nose. "You dumb bass!" shouts Sasori. He surely desires to say something more, but the rest of his insult cut short by the rising water. Grimoire Vice, wet and tattered, floats on the water's surface. It is already too late for him. This wasn't how it was supposed to end. I died. You game over? That's hilarious. That's fantastic. And scary. That's ridiculous. Let's try again. Alright, I breathe air, scented with death, and resist the urge to laugh, for I know it will sound like the words of a madman. How long have I been in this fresh hell? Okay, we're gonna skip past this. Yep, okay, Sasori comes. And proceed north. Okay. Okay. Yep. Burn bodies. Proceed east. Let's go north. Let's go east. At the end of the path, I found myself in a great hall, with only the sounds of rain for comfort. The waterlogged red carpet squishes beneath my feet as I approach the center of the room. Once there, I behold a beautiful dining table upon which rests china and silver of the finest construction, as well as the remains of a fantastic feast. As my eyes continue to adjust, I see many chairs surrounding the table, each holding a dinner guest. Noticing movement, I approach the chair at the table's head, but as the truth of the matter dawns on me, I recoil in horror. The host of the feast is a corpse, as are all the invited guests. An army of foul, wriggling insects have made homes in their remains, and this is the movement I saw. The once splendid feast was now nothing more than a requiem for the damned. I take a moment to steady my shaking hands and slowly back away from the table. Desperate to lose sight of the abomination before me, my gaze lands on the chairs upon which the dead were seated. This is a mistake, for the chairs proved to be even more terrible than the feast itself. Each one is covered in a layer of spikes that runs from the seat up the back and down the arms. This explains the color of the carpet beneath my feet. I can only begin to pray that the unfortunate diners were dead when the meal began. For if not, it is a simple task to envision the agonized screams that must have sprung forth from their mouths. My mind grasped frantically at the possibility that these souls had committed some terrible crime for which this was a punishment. Though in truth, I suspect they had committed no crime at all. There would be no tomorrow for these unfortunates. This was their last supper. I squint down the dim corridors and proceed north. We're just going to go northeast this time, and if this is wrong, we're going to go southwest. Hey, Fluffy! Against all hope, we make it to the front door. Break it down, someone cries, and so I give myself the effort. In tandem with Sasori and Grimoire Vice, I slam my body against the thick, sturdy door. On the third try, it gives way, and we find ourselves sprawled in front of the castle. The storm is in retreat. The clouds above are still dark and foreboding, but to the west I can see a thin shimmer of sunlight begin trying to break through. How can I thank you? I cry as tears join the rain on my cheeks. I would surely have died in there. Looking down, I suddenly notice that my dress is in tatters and sheepishly try to cover my exposed skin. Your dress? Asked Vice. Then you are a woman, madame? Yes, I am. I proffer to a smile. I suppose that comes as something of a surprise, seeing as how I exist only in the form of words. I can see the one known as Sasori is disappointed, but the torn dress will be given no further description. But he hides it well. With a nod and a shrug, the three of us set forth to our awakening. But behind us, the awakening of another kind is taking place. Black smoke fills the abandoned castle, providing the countless damned souls inside with their final shroud. For a moment, the castle's windows shatter with a mighty roar. A fresh breeze blows through the hallways and corridors, clearing the smoke away for good. As we watch in awe, an uncountable black shadows slowly flicker to life, crossing to and fro in front of the broken windows. The castle's dead have awakened in their new life as shadows, or as shades. You have anything to say about that? Hopefully, there will be no Nat Labyrinth next time. I hear you. I get nothing for that? Okay. I could see how it would be longer if I weren't a gaming god. We're doing text adventures because the game lost, And another victim. This work is certainly is trying. Yes. I'm surprised, Vice. You're a book. All this word stuff should be right up your alley. Yes, quite. Well, enough chatter. Let's be off. Sorry. A colony of massive sculptures was visible in the distance, their tall forms scraping against the sky. Vice and Sasori had never seen such a sight, and their eyes widened as they tried to take it in. Hey, Vice! We keep walking, but those things don't get any closer. I don't get it. Are they really that big? As Vice considered his answer, the sun beat down on them with renewed ferocity. Perhaps they are some manner of mirage, he said. Under this heat, a mirage or two would hardly be an unexpected sight. Sasori nodded and wiped the sweat off his brow, leaving a trail of sand in its place. He thought he'd never been so thirsty. The ancient road on which they walked was black and cracked with age. Here and there, thin wisps of grass pushed up through the rocky surface as if defying those who had laid this material down over their home. The heat reflected from the road made Sasori lightheaded. Suddenly, he dropped to his knees and slammed his hand against the black surface. God damn it, he said! Is this some kind of joke? Well, I'm not laughing! The complainant had already begun. Vice tried not to let his eyes roll too much. A joke? He said. No joke. This road leads to the city of art. Perhaps the path itself is simply some manner of grand artistic work. Oh, come on, that's bullshit and you know it. Possibly, but thinking of it this way might make it easier for you to bear. Sasuke glanced at Vice's grinning face, cursed silently to himself, and resumed walking. As time passed, Sasuke's feet grew more painful, and this so drier than he had thought possible. He tried not to look further than the next step ahead, because the bright sunlight had made him hesitant to trust his own senses. "We are definitely getting closer," said Vice, in an effort to assure his companion. "Yes, this much is certain." Encouraged, Sasuke lifted his gaze. Suddenly he stopped walking, choosing instead to stand in the middle of the road with his mouth and eyes wide open and his finger pointing to the distance. "Water!" he cried. "It's water!" "Water?" asked Vice. "Preposterous, I don't see any water." "It's right there, idiot! Can't you see it? Look, the sun is reflecting off of it." Without waiting for a response, Sasuke sprang to life and bounded towards the sight. What in the... There was no water. There was nothing but sand in every direction. Sasuke closed his eyes and sighed as Vice floated up behind him, chuckling softly. "I believe this is known as a mirage," he said. "Many a desert traveler has spoken of such things." Sasuke shook his head, bewildered. Suddenly he pointed off in the distance, his eyes wide once more. "Wait, there it is! I just missed it! Look, it's right there!" Sasuke sprinted off again, leaving Vice with no choice but to follow. After a few minutes of running, Sasuke came to a halt. I could have sworn it was right around here. Confused, he put up his hands to his eyes and rubbed them vigorously. As soon as he stopped, he noticed a blue, shimmering pool of clear water just over the next rise. With a shout, he bounded off in search of it. The chase continued for nearly an hour until it was an exasperated Vice finally floated up to Sasuke and struck him in the face with his cover. "You damn blithering idiot! Stop this at once! There is no water here!" Sasuke's face clouded. There isn't? "There is not, and perhaps next time you will listen to me when I tell you as much." Vice paused for a moment and then continued speaking in a slightly kinder tone. "However, I suppose this mad chase was not altogether wasted. It seems we have arrived in the City of Art." Sasuke looked up. Stretched out before him was a row of impossibly tall sculptures. The journey was at an end. "They're huge!" cried Sasuke, completely forgetting the heat and pain of the past few hours. I've never seen anything so big." Each sculpture was formed from roughly the same shape, a tall rectangle that stretched up toward the sky, but that is where the similarities ended. Most were covered with panes of glass that reflected the light in 1,000 different directions, while others seemed to be nothing but frames of steel. Ah, it's a city. Some had tall spires on their tops, while others possessed triangular caps. "What kind of city is this?" Sasuke said, sister. "Where are the people? Where are the houses? Perhaps the land is intended exclusively for artistic use." The debate continued as they made their way through the city. Miracles of artistry were everywhere. Great iron crates with wheels sat silent on steel rails, trains. Beautifully carved works with lights of red, amber, and green dangled over every street lights. As they moved away from the massive sculptures, they found a great array of smaller ones. Some were covered in glass or brick, and many were composed of materials they had never before encountered. The sheer variety of colors and styles was staggering. Unable to find a theme or purpose to the abstract works around them, Sasuke and Vice eventually fell silent. On the outskirts of the city, they discovered 3 sculptures in the shape of humans. Sasuke uttered a sigh of relief as he approached them. "Finally! I was getting tired of modern art." The 3 statues were indistinguishable except for a single word chiseled into their right arms. One read Alpha, one read Beta, and the final one read Gamma. As Sasuke moved to touch the nearest statue, a bird flew from the top shoulder of one of the sculptures, alighting on the statue's shoulder. It emitted a brief, beautiful song that took the form of words. "Only one form is real, the others are false. The real form will always speak the truth. The false one will only speak lies." And with that, the bird departed as if on cue, the 3 statues shuddered to life, acquiring color and form as they began to breathe. "Hey, look at that," said Sasuke. "They're alive." The triplets bowed low before Sasuke. "Please," said Alpha, "you have to get me out of this nightmare. I am real." So if Alpha's saying he's real, he would be telling the truth. But if he's lying, then he's not. "Stop lying," said Beta. He turned to Sasuke and threw his hands in the air. "Alpha's a fake, you know. I'm the real one." "What a load of crap," said Gamma. "Beta is fake." Alright, so everyone knows I'm the only one real around here. Okay, so Alpha says that they're real. If that's true, then Alpha could be real. If it's false, he's not real. Beta says that Alpha's a fake. He could be lying. That would make him real. What do you guys think? See, if A is telling the truth, then G is also telling the truth, which would be impossible. Okay, so if alpha is telling the truth, gamma would also be telling the truth. That's impossible. If B is telling the truth, A is lying, and G is also lying, that fills the conditions. If G is telling the truth, then B is lying, which means A is telling the truth, which again goes back to A and G, so beta has to be the one telling the truth. The respective pleas given, the three statues return to their frozen state as silence once again envelops the city. When you consider all of the statements, only one of them could be the real thing, said Vice. Sase furrows his eyebrow and considers his answer. Only one is real, the others are false. The real form will always speak the truth, the false one will only speak lies. I'm gonna say beta. The real one is beta. Though Sasuke's voice betrayed a notable lack of confidence, he was relieved to see Vice nodding at him. If Alpha were telling the truth, began Vice in the dry tones of a lecturer, Beta and Gamma would be fakes. But in that case, Gamma's claim that Beta is fake would be the truth, even though Gamma is a liar, therefore that theory crumbles. Now let us presume that Gamma spoke the truth. That makes Alpha and Beta liars. In this situation, however, Beta is calling Alpha a liar, which would leave us with two statues telling the truth. Finally, let us assume that Beta is telling the truth. If so, Alpha and Gamma's lies would make sense, therefore Beta must be real. As Vice finished his explanation, Alpha and Gamma crumbled soundlessly into dust, while Beta sprang to life once more. Congratulations, villager, said Vice in a cheerful voice. The time to awaken has arrived. Thank you for saving me, cried the villager. He dropped to his knees and bowed his head as low as it could go, before an uncomfortable Sasuke pulled him to his feet. Why did you have a dream like this? Asked Vice. Have you been to this city before? The villager looked around at the bizarre objects and sculptures that dotted the landscape and shook his head. I don't think so. I mean, it's impossible, right? There's no way I could have ever been to a place like this, but at the same time, I feel like I've seen it before. Deja vu, muttered Sasuke. It's just like the dream mayor. The vague sense of unease that struck Sasuke during the mayor's dream spread once more through his mind. Okay, that was terrible. I'm positive I've seen that place before. Stop! I get enough foreboding crap from everyone else in my life. Don't you start too. Okay, there. Now all the villagers can wake up, right? Yes, if the mayor's assumption was correct. I think I have had enough wordplay to last a lifetime. Thank you very much. Yeah, I hear you. Well, let's go see the mayor. Boom, boom, boom. Let's go save our game. So guys, in case you're wondering, a lot of you didn't actually watch my FF11 stream. There was a part with 3 imps? Goblins? No, imps. In Castle's Fall during the past part of, I think, the Windurst Wings of the Goddess expansion, where you had to talk to 3 imps and they had a similar puzzle. See, Kenzie got it. They said beta. Yeah, they were describing skyscrapers. That was the big rectangular things. Oh, thank you so much! Here, I have something for you. The one-handed sword, Faith. Holy crap, I can really have this? Of course, it's apparently a weapon of some renown, but we have little use for it. Well, we appreciate it. Thank you again for everything. I got a weapon, yay! Let's equip it, that's the rules. It's a lot weaker than what I got, but at the same time, that is a cool looking katana. Let's say it again. What'd you guys think? I like this sword, it's kind of neat. So do those count as side quests? Nope. Interesting. I like that though. That was a really strange way to do a portion of the game, but at the same time, it was a change of pace. You gotta appreciate it. So, how was the village? Oh, it was truly magnificent. There are no words, really. Huh, neat. Let's go back to Popola. She'll probably want to know what was going on there. Now we go back to town and talk to Popola and fight these guys. I received Con, magic defense plus 2%, and it causes poison. Alright. Okay, so these guys aren't always dropping medicinal items. Apparently they do drop other things. No, they're only dropping medicinal herbs right now. Shit. Alright, whatever. But they're supposed to drop other things for me. I would imagine, because they're different than these guys, right? What was that? You caught that. That's good. I like that. I really like the humor in this game. It's so good. Feed it. Get out of here. Brack. Another medicinal herb. I want medicinal herbs. Just want to... Fine. I love it. Somebody use coloring books. Give me rusty knives. It'd be really nice if they'd start giving me rusty kitchen knives. I don't know how many I need, but I assume it's more than 2. Medicinal herb. There's a dude over here we gotta fight. A few dudes over here we gotta fight. They like to drop medicinal words. Oh, that was good aim. Good aim, Kaine. A strength drop. Well, I only like strength raise, so I don't want my strength to drop. I think the only thing that would make this game better so far is if they had gear for your character, like different costumes. Unless they do have different costumes, I just haven't gotten any. She actually does damage, yeah, apparently. I wish I could meet the Kaine lady Dad told me about. I bet she's really nice and always says nice things. Well, sorry, Yana, you're a bit wrong in that regard. Just a bit, though. You bit. This katana looks like one of the ones I got in Drakengard 3 and just never used. Which I feel bad for because it's actually pretty cool looking. It's like a dai katana. The death dream is such a strange illness. I'm so happy you saved those people. Yeah, dealing with all those words is a pain in the ass. Even I, with my natural love for words, have no desire to visit that place ever again. You guys did well. Ah, Cesare! Huh? I almost forgot. Yona was looking for you. Oh? She said she needed something from you. Time to go play daddy for a bit, huh? Yeah, I guess so. Thanks, Popola. No, you leveled them up in Drakengard 3 through money, P. So, I didn't actually use it in... I just upgraded it by getting the money for it. I got all the weapons to level 4. Play daddy, yep. The whole daddy-daughter kink is something I just don't get.